Hey guys, today I am finally filming my Q&A video that I asked you questions for in my last video, that haul. Again, once I've already filmed this, but I talked for literally probably about half an hour, so then I had to edit, or I was going to have to edit that, and I was like, no way am I editing that much footage. So now I'm answering it yet again, and I have all the questions here with all the people who asked them. And also a couple more people asked questions. If your question has not been answered, I did not see it, so you might have written it on a different video or stuff. I just went through my Ask FM around the time that I uploaded that video, and I also went through the video comments, and aside from that I didn't really do a whole lot else. So I'm sorry if your comment is missing from this video, that may be why. Let's get straight to it. Lizzie Bear asks, what's your favourite type of writing? English show jumping. I really want to show jump. That's been my goal all along, but I ended up buying Jerry and he was more of an event horse, so I just started eventing. He would have probably done better at dressage, but I just decided to event because that's what everyone does around here. Like, South Australia is very primarily eventing, so that's what I did. Now, Holly Abraham asked, what do you find hardest when schooling Jerry for eventing? So I found ditches definitely the hardest with Jerry. He was, yeah, very spooky with ditches, but he was also very hard to get forward enough, which was part of the ditch problem too, because he wouldn't, like, when he didn't want to go forward, he would just like completely jack up and I couldn't get him forward no matter what I did. And we worked through that gradually through other horses jumping over a ditch before him. We built one at home. And yeah, now we just need to get trichanas right, because you can go up to an open ditch and kind of stop and look and then jump it, but when it's a big trichina with a big ditch, you can't just like halt and then jump it on the spot, because that would be kind of dangerous, and also Weldon walls. So we're going to be working on that a lot before this eventing season this year. Sharon McDonald asks, how much money was Jerry? I think Jerry... Is it on? I've got Jerry's papers from when we bought him here, because I had them for when I last filmed. So, Windermere Lodge, Jerry, approximate height 16 hands. He grew after that. It's not on here, but I think he was $5,000, around $5,000, which was quite expensive for what he had done, and especially for his, like, we didn't know what breeding he was. He was quite cheap for a Frisian, but yeah, as I say, he was completely unknown breeding, aside from, like, we knew that he was definitely the Frisian, had a bit of thoroughbred in him, had a bit of another breed in him, because I just kind of heard along the grapevine from his first owner, who was very hard to contact. Very hard to contact. She kind of disappeared after she sold Jerry to the breaker, who broke him in and then gave him, or not gave him, and then I bought him from her, if that makes any sense. Darcy Hammond asks, will you only do show jumping with Dex, or will you also do eventing? I will be doing mostly show jumping. I've already started, or I'm kind of started, I'm starting in with just freshman show jumping rounds, and then I will start doing a little bit of eventing. I may do just a couple of newcomers, or like an intro or two, and see how he goes with that. But if he is really good at eventing, I'll try and, you know, progress him up, and then I'll probably sell him. But if he's good at show jumping, I will keep him, because, as I say, I really want to show jump. So, and he's looking to be much more of a show jumper because he is very spooky. So we'll see how he goes. Lindsay Vincent, 15, asks, what were your first events when you started competing? I definitely did not do eventing for a long time before I got my second horse, which was Jerry, before I started eventing. So I've actually got my first couple of events on YouTube. I've got like my first ever show, which was on Charlie. It was a freshman's show jumping day, and I just did lots of freshman show jumping and a lot of unofficial hacking shows, which I enjoyed to an extent. Oh no, my battery's flashing. Lakeisha, don't know how to pronounce your last name, sorry. Why do you love Lemieux so much? I love the shape of them, first of all. What first sold me with them was that D-ring, which just completely prevented the saddle blanket from slipping, which was so good. And also they're just very durable, like really durable straps, really durable around the bottom. I really like how soft they are. I like, yeah, the soft underneath, and then also how they have very nice colours, and how they have square stitching, not these like fancy like wavy ones or anything like that, because that kind of, don't really like that very much. And she also asked plans for Dexter in the new year. My ultimate goal is to have him jumping 1 meter plus in the new year, so we'll see how that goes. Alana Yates asked favourite part about owning a horse. Probably just being able to ride it whenever I want, and I love doing like schedules, like working out exactly what days I'm doing what with them, and just really being the one to progress them and make them go as far as they can. She also asked detailed tack room tour. Yes, I will be doing one. I will be doing one at home while I still live here, the float, and also when I move to my new place and we have our stable built, which will probably be in 2017 or something. When that's all done, I will do a tack room tour there and like a barn tour there when that's all finished. Georgia Rose asks, who are Dexter and Jerry's parents? Dexter, I can't remember his dam. Someone told me last Thursday. Apparently she was a really lanky thoroughbred, which is why he's so lanky. Because often horses by his sire, Kinoti Graziano, are pretty chunky, like stock horse looking horses. But yeah, he's very lean, so I'm guessing he gets that from his dam. But yeah, he's by Kinoti Graziano, who is known to be a very spooky sire, and also he often threw chestnuts, and chestnuts, the Kinoti Graziano chestnuts are known to be a little bit nuts, just a little bit completely insane. So I was a little bit worried about buying Dex, but he's turned out really good. He's got the best temperament ever. He's just a little bit spooky. And as I said before, with Joe, I have absolutely no clue who his parents are. I just know he's from Queensland. Potentially is either a saddlebred or a thoroughbred. I don't know. He's definitely Frisian. He's got thoroughbred in him. I don't know if it's a standard bred or a saddlebred though. That is that extra bit, but I like to say saddlebred because that's a bit different, and I can't see why you would breed a thoroughbred and a standard bred together. Laura S asks, how long are you usually driving to your shows? The shows around here are really close. I've got one like 10 minutes down the hill. I've got one, usually aside from that, they're usually about 45 minutes to about 3 hours. That's the ones that I go to on the day. Aside from that, then they're probably about 6-7 hours. Sydney takes 2 days. So it's really all over the place really. I try to stick around South Australia and Victoria, so probably average time is about 5 hours driving with all my events collaborated into one average. Mia Rose asks, are you having brown rider wear for show jumping and black for dressage? Yes, I am, and I'm also having potentially navy for dressage. Not sure. I really want to buy a navy Charles on, but I'm not completely sold on spending that much money again for another Charles on. But I like to buy one a year, and haven't bought one this year, so the year is still young though. It is like January 11th, so I'm already talking about buying a new helmet this year. Great. Sharon McDonald asked, how long have you been riding? I first rode a horse and started having lessons when I was 7 years old, but then gradually over that year I just stopped having lessons, and then I didn't pick it up again until I was about 11. Then I started having a couple of lessons here and there, and then I started having like double time lessons. Like I would go with my friend one time, and then I'd go by myself secretly because I wasn't supposed to tell my friend. Like, because she would get so angry at me that I was going on my own for some reason. But yeah, I had lots of lessons and lots of lessons and lots of lessons. So I've probably been riding like full on since I was about 12, like all the time. at least once a week. So yeah, about 12. So how many years is that? That is about 6-7 years. 6 or 7 years, I reckon. Anonymous asked, I think on my Ask FM, I'm not sure, tips to get views on YouTube. My first videos have thousands of views, but my last ones don't even have 100. Honestly, without losing yourself and just doing whatever people tell you to do or whatever gets lots of views, I would say you should do tack hauls, and tack room, like tour videos get a lot. Riding, just yeah, tack up videos, tutorials, they all get a lot of views. And aside from that, I would say like here and there you can start doing riding videos after a while when you've got that audience, because honestly people like to see after a while, after you've done all these tack hauls and all that, like to see if you can actually ride, so then you can start doing kind of riding videos. I first started off with a lot of riding videos and just edits and all that, and I didn't get very many views. I had like 1,000 subscribers from when I used to do my model horse and brayer thing, but then I started with the riding thing. I didn't get very many views. Then I started doing like tack hauls and that got a lot bigger audience for me. So that sort of thing is definitely something I would recommend if you are going into YouTube to get views, which I don't suggest, but I do really enjoy doing this. And the reason I actually started doing talk to you videos, I was heavily influenced by equine.emma1996, who is a very good friend of mine. She influenced me to start doing sit down and talking videos, and also I mostly started doing it because I had really bad, and I still do have really bad social anxiety, and like talking to people is really difficult for me, or it used to be very difficult for me. So I thought sitting down with a little bit of pressure on yourself, I had like a bit of a stutter when I got nervous, so sitting down and talking in front of a camera really helped that. And in my first few videos, like my voice would always cut out, and after a while I just got used to like talking a bit under pressure, looking into a camera lens and just like talking, and that really helped. So I continued doing it, and I have continued doing it, and it's just happened to revolutionize my YouTube channel. So yeah, that's interesting story for you guys. Anonymous asks, what is your fake tan routine? So I use Loving Tan. I currently have the dark on. I put it on Friday, so the day before I have an event on, or the night before I have an event on, the next night, if that makes sense, I will put either dark or ultra dark Loving Tan on, just the regular stuff, not the 2 Hour Express. I like the 2 Hour Express, but it doesn't last quite so long. Like, it doesn't really last a couple of weeks after, it kind of just lasts like a couple of days after. So I'll put that on, and then the next day, if I want to be darker, or if I want to, you know, make it a bit more even, I will put on Saint Tropez, just the regular dark, not the ultra dark, because they don't really differ that much. So I'll use Loving Saint Tropez. I really love Loving Tan because it is very waterproof. It's almost just like a complete like spray tan. It's a very nice, very expensive tan. Anonymous asks, tips for first time horse owners / getting into eventing, etc. First time horse owners, get to know a lot of people. Well, with both eventing and first time, branch out into the horse world, know lots of people, like really start talking, becoming friends with a lot of people. They can help you out, then you can kind of get a word back on a horse. If they know the horse, they can tell you what they know about it, if it's negative, which is quite often, or if it's positive. So you can kind of find out a lot by knowing a lot of people, and also just keep an open mind. The horse world is very political, everyone thinks they're right, so you just have to get used to that and really take everything with a grain of salt, honestly, and be very strong. Yeah, you can't be a weak person in the horse world, and you can't be a very like timid person. When you have a horse, you have to be very, you know, don't do that, you little shit. You have to be tough. You have to be a tough person, both physically to an extent and mentally. 4MRTM asked, do you travel to Sydney horse shows? I've only travelled once, and that was for inter-schools to Sydney, but I want to do one travel to Sydney again for this year for an event, whether that's one that's held at Sydney International Equestrian Centre again, or if it is a different one, which would just be great. I would love to travel a lot this year to different events, and also really stick around South Australia and focus on the show jumping too, which would be ideal for Dexter and for Jerry. And that is it. Look how white my armpit is compared to the rest of me. Anyways, that is it for this video. Sorry if I kind of seemed rushed or anything. I really didn't want it to go over, you know, 20 minutes. And also, I have to go out for dinner. That's why my eyes are kind of smoky. I have to go out to dinner literally like now. So I will see you guys with my next video. I think I will be either doing that, finally doing that float tour or whatever, or I will be doing a sit down video again. But any suggestions you have, comment them below. Bye guys!